Every evening, as the city lights flickered to life, a young man walked past a luxurious mansion on his way home. Parked outside were expensive cars, and through the tall windows he could see a family laughing over dinner. He stopped every day and whispered to himself, "One day I'll have all of this." To him, success looked effortless. It looked like comfort. It looked like wealth. What he didn't see were the years hidden behind those walls. One evening, he noticed an elderly gardener tending to the flowers outside the mansion. Curious, he asked, "How did the owner become so successful?" The old man smiled. "You only see the reward," he replied. "You don't see the price." The young man frowned. "What do you mean?" The gardener sat down on a nearby bench and pointed toward the mansion. When everyone else was sleeping, he was working. When friends were celebrating weekends, he was studying. When others spent money to impress people, he invested in learning. He missed parties. He failed businesses. He was rejected more times than he could count. There were nights he questioned himself. There were mornings he wanted to quit. But every time life knocked him down, he paid the price to get back up. The young man listened in silence. The gardener picked up a small seed from the ground. "Do you know why most people never reach their dreams?" The young man shook his head. "They want the fruit, but they refuse to plant the seed. They want success without sacrifice. They want results without discipline." The gardener gently placed the seed into the young man's hand. "Every dream has a price. The question isn't whether success is expensive. The question is whether you're willing to pay for it." The young man looked down at the tiny seed. For the first time, he realized success wasn't something you found. It was something you earned. That night, instead of wishing for a better future, he opened a notebook. He wrote down his goals. He created a plan. The next morning, while the city was still asleep, he woke up before sunrise. He began reading, learning, working. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. There were setbacks. There were failures. There were moments when quitting seemed easier than continuing. But every time he remembered the gardener's words, "The price of success." Years later, people looked at his achievements and said, "You're so lucky." He simply smiled, because they only saw the destination. They never saw the journey. They never saw the sacrifices. They never saw the price. Remember this: success is never handed to anyone. It is purchased with discipline, paid for with consistency, earned through perseverance. The life you dream of has a price. Every day you decide whether you're willing to pay it.